Go. All right, Matt. There we go. All right, that's what I was. We brought Matt into the studio just to see his Matt Potter face. So, thanks for being on the show. We are on Real Estate Pros on Lister Pros TV, where we interview seasoned veterans in the real estate business. And today we have a very special guest, Matt Potter of Stunning Homes Realty. We were gonna have Nicole, but recently you posted you got a second biological Matt.
Yeah. Life comes at you fast. We got married last Thursday.
Dude, congratulations, man. I was gonna say, man.
I appreciate it.
Seems like Matt's like, buying stuff, and then all of a sudden it's like bam, 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 bam. You got number one, you got number two, you're married, you got daddy diaries going on.
Couldn't be happier.
Yeah.
I sit there and look at my life for about the last 3 years.
Oh man,
it's done a complete 180, and it's all for the better. As crazy as it is, I was really nervous about, is this going to be something that's going to affect business, because there's only so many hours in a day.
Right.
And all of a sudden, you changing diapers, family dinners and things like that, whereas I was kind of used to, I'll eat a Hot Pocket when the time comes. So I have to say, 3 years ago to where it is now, my life is so much more full, and business actually, we haven't slid at all. It stays where it needs to be. It's increasing. It's just better time management. That's all it comes down to.
Absolutely. So on today's episode, we're going to be talking about finding love in real estate. I didn't talk to Matt about that topic. I just thought it made sense because you just got married.
Absolutely.
Got some kids coming, and you love real estate. You've been in the business a long time.
Yep.
And then you recently got married. So, man, that's awesome. So I've known Matt since a while ago, like 3.5 years or something like that.
At least
I remember going to one of your listings. I met you there. I think you want to meet me to see how legit I was.
Yes, I did.
You're
it was like the first time we ever used you.
Yeah. You're like, let's see how this guy really is.
Yep.
I think you're in your Vikings jersey. I remember your little Mercedes Benz. We had a good conversation out there. But yeah, since then I've always been a big fan of Matt. If you don't follow him on social media, you certainly should. You'll be definitely entertained. You are very entertaining, engaging, and
I try to have fun with it. You know? I mean,
I think a lot of people try to like force it and like try to act like let me try to weave in real estate, but you're just always.
And the thing is, I mean,
it's
who
you are.
Yeah, it's a constant in my life. That's how I am, and I weave in personal and professional because at the end of the day, maybe there's somebody that says, hey, I got a family member or a friend that needs to buy a house. They see a funny, goofy post, and they're like, hey, can you help them out? You seem like a fun guy. And
yeah.
We actually get a lot of business off of that. I mean, people will just message
that
us on Facebook.
That authenticity, man. I can,
Bingo.
Yeah, if I wasn't a real estate agent, I was looking, I'd be looking at somebody like you because it just seems fun to work with you.
Well, and it's, Nicole and I have our little tagline. We're, capital REAL tours, real tours, because we just keep it real,
I thought you were trying to help people know how to pronunciate realtor, realtor, like real tour.
Real tour. No, it's, and a lot of our clients, even referrals that have come and, bought a house, sold a house with us, something like that, a lot of them will come back and say, hey, you guys were a lot of fun to work with, but at the end of the day, we knew you had our best interests at heart.
Right.
And that was key
you
to
definitely
us.
know what you're doing in the business. Not like, come work with us. We're a lot of fun, but you're going to get professionals that represent you well.
Exactly.
Awesome. So I've known you, man. We could talk a lot about some of Matt's listings that we do professional photos on. You see the $400,000 houses with the iPhone with the little clip-on fisheye lens.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we got Matt over here with like a $20,000 listing.
Doesn't matter.
Let's do you gotta go professional, man. But actually, even some of those, I like some of the bad-looking professional photos because they help at the end of the day.
They do, and you know what? The thing that always cracks me up is people are like, "Why are you going to do that for a $20,000 listing?" And obviously, thank God we don't have a lot of $20,000 listings anymore. But they're like, "Why are you going to do that for a $20,000? Wouldn't you do that for 200, 250, 300 and above?" And I'm like, "Look, whatever I do for one client, I'm going to do for the other. I don't care about the fact that, okay, yeah, I'm spending a couple dollars for professional photos on this. That's part of the service. That's what we do.
Right.
So the thing is, man, we get them sold.
Yeah.
We definitely do.
Sell them short sale as is. We definitely showed up to some stuff spray painted on the wall. Just some doozies out there. You're like, Jordan, you text me before, Jordan, you're gonna have fun with this, and I'm like, oh wow.
You're like, all right, another one of Potter's properties. We'll see.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about the current state of short sales, because you've been in the short sale game for a long time. And you've been one of those resources where people that are considering short sales, a lot of people don't want to deal with it, so they'll seem like they refer the business to you. So talk to us a little bit about the current state of short sales.
Ironically enough, I was thinking about that this morning, and I was like, I have a perfect analogy for the short sale side of our business, because that is how we broke into the business. Nicole and I met, oh man, I think it was about 10 years ago now.
Oh,
wow, that's a trip. We actually met at a processing company that was doing them up in North Scottsdale, and then we broke off and we started our own company because we thought they charged too much money and they weren't really doing it.
So this was before you were a real estate agent, or were you?
Correct. It was completely before I was a real estate agent.
And that you and Nicole were working together at
working together at the time.
So you guys go way back.
We go way back. I mean, there's a lot of history there, and I think that's part of why our professional and personal lives are so strong, because we've been there through literally everything with each other. So we ended up starting our own company, and then the Department of Real Estate said, we want you guys to go ahead and get licensed to continue doing this. We said, no problem. Boom, 2 weeks, crash course, licensed. Ended up hanging our license with Stunning Homes because I've known Steve for a long time because I did his short sales.
Oh, nice.
So, the short sale market, the way that I have the perfect analogy is it's a lot like Lister Pros in a way. I'm more than anything, I try to be a resource to other agents, obviously homeowners and things like that. But there's a lot of agents, like you were saying, short sale market, it's dried up some. Not all, but it's dried up some. Most agents, they might do one a year.
Right.
They don't know what the bank's process is.
And they probably change all the time, too.
They do. I mean, they change their process halfway through the process. So we're
right.
No, we're doing this now. And I'm like, okay, and you turn.
Yeah.
So a lot of agents will just say, you know what, hey, we'll refer it over to you, and we pay them, a nice referral fee. We give them 30% for short sale referrals. And, it's a little higher than industry average, but I don't know.
I'm sure you get the referrals.
We get the referrals, and, we get them closed, and the agent, I had one agent the other day send me an email that was like, man, you're like Santa Claus in June. I wasn't expecting this check. I didn't even think he'd get it closed. And I'm like, thanks for your vote of confidence, but here's your check. And she's like, this is awesome. So the thing that's crazy is obviously short sales were all the rage between, starting kind of back in 2007, really 2008 was when they really started. And then going all the way to 2013, even 2014, there was still a fair amount. There's still short sales out there. A lot of it is, I'd say it's about 75-25 of old stuff. The interest-only loans from 06, 07, they're now coming due, and people are like, I owe $800,000 on this house, and it's only worth $600,000, and I'm like, short sale's probably going to be the option. The other thing that we've seen, and it is what it is. Situations happen to people all the time. Medical situations, unemployment, death of a co-borrower. We're seeing about 25% of people that they bought recently in the last 2 to 3 years. And it's not to, scare anybody or anything like that. It's just life happens, I mean, look at me. 3 years ago, I'm pretty much just sitting on a couch eating ho-hos and ding-dongs. And now, I'm a family man, and, I'm married and I got kids. So, I mean, a lot changes.
Right.
I have an appointment on Saturday with a woman she purchased 2 years ago, and unfortunately her husband passed away. And, she had bought a home with a very low down payment situation, and the problem is, it was a new build and the comps just aren't there.
Sure.
She's about 25-30 grand underwater, and I'm like, well, we'll go ahead and do what we can do to help you out.
Yeah,
so
that's interesting to me, because you wouldn't, in the hot market, one that's been increasing over the last few years, you wouldn't be expecting that too much. Exactly. But you got to also think situational.
Exactly.
On these, there's still a lot of questionable programs just to get people in with no money, and then there's no equity. It's a tough situation.
it's a situation where, even if you bought with, hypothetically with an FHA loan, you're putting 3.5% down, you lose your job a week later, you only have 3.5%. Even if your agent's going to be like, hey, I'll sell it for free, you still got closing costs.
Yeah.
You still got to pay a buyer's agent. You're kind of in a position where you're at bare minimum bringing money to the table, or maybe doing a short sale.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting, but the good thing is, we're still doing them. We're still helping people.
And how has the approval on the bank side been with short sales recently? Are they tougher? They're like, oh, we like they don't want to. They'd rather foreclose and hold on to it and do whatever. Or
50-50 shot,
50-50?
honestly.
Yeah.
It really is. There's some investors that back mortgages, primarily Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. They're kind of betting against the market going down at all. So they're a little bit more apt to, hey, you got to get a top dollar if we're going to agree to this. Some of the properties aren't in, top dollar condition. They maybe need a couple grand worth of work. But if you don't have a job, it's kind of hard to come up with a couple grand to get it done. So they're a little bit more apt to, they'll approve it. It's just a little bit more work. Some of the investors are a little bit more realistic, where they're like, we don't really want to go through the foreclosure process and pay, attorney's fees and holding costs. All right, yeah, we'll let it go for this price. I'm like, all right, well, good. We got a buyer at that price, so let's get it done. So it's still profitable. I haven't starved yet.
Yeah. All right, so now let's talk a little bit about something that I recognize in a little bit. I think last year a little bit, you kind of took a hiatus. You guys took a little a detour from social media, and I think a lot of people get caught up in social media. Some people may get addicted to it, and they're like, you know what, it may be a good idea to step away from a bit, but that wasn't your reasoning for stepping away. But you kind of been through the process where you're pretty hard onto social media, and then you just pretty much just stop for a period of time and then come back. So talk to us about that.
It was, honestly, I wrestled with the decision for a couple of reasons, because a lot of our business is social media driven.
Right.
We get a lot of messages on Facebook and things like that where, people are like, hey, I got a friend that wants to buy a house, here's their number, things like that. With the fact that we were expecting Cooper, little man.
How old is he now?
Today's the 15th, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's 11 months today.
11 months.
11 months today. Happy birthday, buddy.
Yeah.
We were expecting him, and it was kind of a situation of, especially with it being my first biological. I mean, this is the first time I'm going through any of this, and
right.
I'm starting to hone in on, hey, mama needs to be comfortable. She needs to be taken care of. We need to make sure that that's the number one priority right now.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a paradigm shift for me, because I had always been very business, and it was, no, you need to take care of the family first.
Sure.
So I went ahead and just deactivated my social media, and I stayed off for, I think it was about 2.5, 3 months. And there were pros and cons to it.
Sure.
There were. I'm sure, I might have missed out on a buyer or two that would have been referred to.
So did you deactivate it totally, and no Facebook
Totally.
Messenger message?
Nothing.
Wow.
I took it all away.
Cold turkey.
Just because I wanted to focus on us, And
it's an important time in your life.
Exactly, and it's kind of one of those things, like, I didn't know if this was going to happen again. This might be the only time that I'm going to have this opportunity, so I need to put my focus there.
Mm-hmm.
So the good thing is Netflix was great. I mean, me and Mama, we did some binge watching.
Yeah. What's your favorite Netflix show? Or what was it during that period of time? Blacklist.
She had never seen it. I had seen a couple seasons. I mean, we ran through all of it, though. I was like, we're starting at season 1, episode 1. I'm like, we're just going to go. I'm like, don't worry. We'll still handle the business. But we're going to go ahead and take a couple hours to ourselves every day and, do this. So we did that. We're already getting suggestions for this go round. What's going to be the Netflix that we're going to go ahead and binge watch.
So you just found out about the second one.
The second one, yes.
So second time around, you're gonna. What are you thinking, Matt Potter?
Well, here's a funny story on that one. So we got married on June 8th.
Like 7 days ago.
Yep, literally last Thursday. We got married last Thursday. Very simple but very meaningful ceremony, and I personally think that it was probably one of the best days of my life. Yeah. So I'm very grateful for that, and I'm very grateful for all the things she did to make it special. You know, she got a dress and a bouquet and all those things. And it was nice. The next morning, Cooper, God bless him, he's in his walker now, and there's certain things that drive me nuts. And he was opening all the cabinet doors, and I can't stand that. And he's pulling out pots and pans, Tupperware, and I'm like, it's like 7:15 in the morning, and I walk in the bedroom, and I'm like, that's it? I'm going to Target. I'm baby-proofing this friggin' house. And she goes, I'll come with you, and I'll bring Cooper. I'm like, okay, fantastic.
Family trip.
So we were there, and she all of a sudden said, you know what? I haven't been feeling the best. I think I'm going to get a pregnancy test. And I'm like, okay. You know, kind of one of those like, nah.
This is last Friday, right?
This is last Friday.
Oh, man.
So we're sitting there, and we get home, and I'll never forget this moment. There's certain moments in your life you never forget, and these are the ones. I'm sitting there, and I'm washing a coffee cup. She comes bolting out of the bedroom, and I look up, and she has it in her hand, and she just mouths to me because daughter was right here.
Right,
Oldest son's over here. She mouths to me, I'm pregnant. And I'm like, don't drop the coffee cup. Don't drop the cup. This is one of her favorites. Give her a hug. Give her a hug right now. Go. And it's one of those, like, everything slows down to super slow motion because this is something we both really, really, really wanted. We're a little ahead of schedule with where we planned on being, but I view it as, hey, it's done. At that point, we're good. We have our, as we call it, Potter Party of 6 at that point. We're good. So very, very surprised, very blessed. Went to the doctor on Tuesday. Got the ultrasound done. Found out she's about 6.5 weeks at that point, and saw the heartbeat, the sac and everything. And I was like, wow, man, there's a little life inside of you again. I'm like, this is just crazy. I'm like, I'm excited. I'm slightly terrified, but I'm so excited. I'm like, you run the gamut of emotions. I mean, you're a dad. You know, every time you're like, wow, okay, yeah, we're doing this again. Let's do it. All right. So we're super excited about it. We are.
Man, that's awesome, man. Two little Matt Potter. Well, we'll see what you still have a few weeks to find out what it is. So
we do. We'll probably know in about 6 weeks.
Yeah. Wow, yeah. That's incredible. You've had an incredible last 7 days of life, man. Getting married, one of the best times of your life.
Let's put it this way. When I do it, I'm going to do it big.
Yeah.
I am. And Nicole was like, well, she's like, we never fail to, we don't disappoint.
Yeah. So let's talk. Let's move it back onto real estate, and let's talk a little bit about your brokerage, Stunning Homes Realty, because that's the brokerage you've been with
since I activated my license.
Since you activated your license. So why there's in 2017 there's so many options out there. There's a lot of people that tend to jump around and don't really stick. Why have you been with and been loyal to Stunning Homes Realty? What's made you stick?
Well, I'm a creature of habit, number one.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, I mean, when people knew we were getting our real estate licenses, we had every broker under the sun asking us, like, hey, you want to come interview, da-da-da-da-da. We had a real short list of where we were considering. I'm not the type of person, like, I can be classified as a renegade or something like that, where I like to buck the trend. I don't need to go with a big name,
Right.
And I've known Steve for a long time. I know his work ethic. I know how he operates. That's our broker owner, Steve Trang. I sat down with him, and he said, what do you ultimately need from me? And I said, look, I know how to do short sales. I'm like, this. I've helped you, close 15, 20, 25, 30, however many it is at this moment. I need help developing the other side of my business. Buyers, traditional sellers, investors, things like that. And he's like, I don't think you need any help with the investors. You work short sales. They come to you.
Right.
And he was like, look, this is how we're going to be set up. You're going to get access to these coaching programs. You're going to get access to these database management systems, things like that, which those are all very beneficial. But at the time, like, I don't have the first clue how to use any of that. And then once we had that, We started creating a team. From there, we ended up starting to, grow into what we are now. And I'm forever grateful that, Steve taught us those things. And, the other thing is, at the end of the day, he tells everybody in the office, you got a short sale, send it to Potter. No, don't even jack with it. Send it to Potter. He'll pay you a nice referral fee. But no, I also like the culture there. I like the value that's added through, programs, mentoring. I mean, I have a meeting with Steve right after this. Every Thursday I meet with Steve, and we work on business development, what we can do better, anything he can do to help our team, anything that we can do to, help on his side. And that's the thing I probably like the best about our brokerage, because there's some good-sized teams in there, and there's some good-sized agents in there. Everybody's there to help everybody. That's the thing, where we're not competing. I mean, we are. We're very competitive in our office. Let's not, sugarcoat it. But at the end of the day, hey, you know what? I'm struggling with this on my side. What can you do to help? And, everybody will share. It's an open book. There's no secrets there. And that's the thing that I really like.
So I talked to Steve I had him on the show a couple and that's one thing I didn't really know that well about Stunning Homes Realty, because it's not the let's shop around and see how little we can pay per transactions.
No.
It's like bring your current business and we'll expand on that business. So I was talking to him about somebody that recently joined the team. They're all about flips, but they're missing the boat on the business side of just kind of like you, because you were like short sales and didn't know about nothing traditional.
Yep.
And then Steve, if you have somebody on your team that helps you grow that other side of the business, the splits
don't matter.
Right, because that's business that you weren't getting or focused on.
I'll give you a perfect example.
Sure.
When we came aboard, our main focus was short sales, which, don't get me wrong, we still have a lot of them, but if we didn't have the other facet of business, we wouldn't be doing as well. With his help and his development, we literally doubled our production every single year that we've been there. I mean, something as stupid as Zillow leads. I'll be the first one to admit, you hear Zillow lead, you're like, okay. We brought on a guy on our team. He's amazing. His name's Kaz. He just kills it. All we do is send him Zillow leads. I'm very hesitant to say this, but it is what it is. He only works part-time right now. He has a full-time job. But this guy will close 30 to 40 transactions this year for our team.
Just focusing on...
Just Zillow leads. All he does is call them, text them, email them. And Steve even told me, he's like, you have exclusive listings up to 25 with Zillow. Why are you not leveraging this to make, money for your team and help more people? And I'm like, I don't have the time. And he's like, the database does it all for you. And I'm like, all right, then I'm going to go in and adjust the database. And sure enough, as soon as I did that, Kaz just starts calling. He joined us June or July of last year. It was June. Nicole was still pregnant when we met.
Mm-hmm.
This is how I remember things.
There we go.
We met with him in June. He said, hey, I really like you guys. Yeah, I want to come to work for you. He started right before Cooper was born, July 10th. By July 31st, he had 2 closed deals off of Zillow.
Wow.
Of course, both were cash buyers. And were they huge deals? No. But he had 2 closed deals in his first 3 weeks in real estate. And I'm like, I think I just found the golden goose here. I'm like, outstanding. And he rocks it. So it's without Steve's help and business development,
right?
I wouldn't even have that, that team member that helps us, or even that facet of business. So I sit there and think about it. That more than pays for any kind of split that I have.
Absolutely.
Honestly, tenfold at this point. Yeah. So it's kind of
it's like you're playing with the house, man. It's
exactly. And don't get me wrong. I mean, we got to keep the boat going.
It's like $200 on one deal a month or a year, or however much you do, is still this X amount. You pay high. You may pay a higher split or whatever the structure is, but look at the
I look at the
numbers. At the big picture, and
at the end of the day, this is probably one of my favorite quotes in how we operate our business. In no way whatsoever do I look at gross. I don't look at how many transactions I do, anything like that. I look at what goes into the coffer at the end of the day. That's the only thing that truly matters.
Right.
And I would like to say that it looks really nice most of the time.
Yeah.
It does. That being said, with the next baby on the way, well,
it'll take a nice chunk.
Come on, team boy. I want to reuse the clothes.
That's the only thing that I had good for me. We had 4 boys, but as the 4th child's getting the hand-me-downs, it start a little. I think
getting a little raggedy.
You'll be good from Cooper to the next if it is a boy. But the 4th one, we're like, our kid looks. All right.
Okay, we'll go get a couple new ones.
Those clothes are 10 years old and they're really ragged.
Yes.
Awesome, Matt. So, man, this has been very informational about real estate short sales, Stunning Homes Realty, why you chose the brokerage that you did. If agents are watching out there and they have short sales that they may want to refer to you, or a buyer or seller that's looking to sell, how do people get a hold of you?
Well, you better be friends with me on Facebook first and foremost.
Right. No.
That's the Potter face. No, they can call me, text me, email me. Email's real simple. It's just Matthew@stunninghomes.com. That's with 2 T's, not the kind of awkward spelling.
Gotcha.
And phone number 480-343-7894. That's my direct cell number. By all means, send it over. Get yourself 30%. I have an agent. I have 3 in escrow for him. 3 short sale referrals. That guy is going to make $9,500 this month.
Wow.
On just short sale referral
Just
fees.
the referral.
And he was like, let me get this straight. I'm going to make almost $10,000. And I didn't even have to do anything. I'm like, no, you just need to forward over a name, phone number. That was it. And he's like, wow, this is a great program.
Wow,
I'm going to utilize this. So
so if you're not using Matt Potter for your short sales, you definitely should. Next time we'll have you and Nicole. Nicole is feeling a little under the weather. We expectedly. First trimester is a tough one.
She did want me to tell you that she's really sad that she couldn't be here, and she told me to tell you hello as well.
All right. Tell her hello as well. So we'll have you guys back on the show. Maybe we'll go deeper into a specific topic.
Absolutely.
And
would love it.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us on this edition of Real Estate Pros on Lister Pros TV. Thank you, Matt Potter, and we'll see you guys on the next episode. Potter face. Love it.